how's it going? We're going to be talking about human sacrifice in the Old Testament tonight. I think it'll be a surprising thing for many people to see what is actually written in the Hebrew. And then a little bit
Okay.
on the cannibalism aspect too. I've been listening to these people pouring over the Old Testament, reading it in the mornings, and I'm just like mortified. I'm like, if they really knew what that said, they would be freaking out. And I understand now what Jesus meant by he was paying a ransom. He was paying for us because
hmm
everything to Yahweh had to do with the blood system, and payment was blood. We're talking about human sacrifice in the Old Testament, and I made some slides on here because it's a lot easier with slides to see this. We have the Passover, and everybody always just looks at that as like it was that nothing happened to the actual Hebrews themselves, that they were just delivered and they sacrificed a lamb, they ate it, and then they took off after that. But there's a lot more to it in the Hebrew text than what people think. So we're going to be looking at that. Okay. The first set of verses we're going to look at is Exodus 12. And I'm just going to read some of this and I'll comment as I'm going along. And the Lord spoke unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of the month thou shalt take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto the house take it according to the numbers of souls. Now that's an important word right there. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. So had to be enough that everybody could eat off this lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and he shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall unalive it in the evening. I hate changing scripture, but I don't want to get a strike where we can't come in here and talk. So I'm using unalive. Okay, and they shall take the blood and strike it on the two side posts of the upper door post of the house, wherein they shall eat it. So this lamb is to be eaten. We're going to talk about what this lamb is. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire, unleavened bread, and with bitter. And we have in English bitter herbs, but actually that word in Hebrew is bitterness. They're going to eat it with bitterness. They shall eat it. Eat not of it raw or sodden at all with water, but roast it on the fire, its head and legs, and the protuberance, which is the inner parts of the middle thereof. So the whole thing basically is going on the fire. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until morning. That which remains in the morning ye shall burn with fire. And thus ye shall eat it. And he keeps saying you're going to eat it, you're going to eat it, you're going to eat it. With your loins girded, and your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, you shall eat it with haste. It is the Lord's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn of the land of Egypt, both male, man, and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. So he's talking about other gods even. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses wherein you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. And this day shall be for you a memorial, and you shall keep this feast to the Lord throughout all your generations. You shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whoever eats leaven from the first day till the 7th day, that soul be cut off from Israel. And in the first day a holy convocation, and a seventh day there shall be a holy convocation. So there's two of those. To you, no manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat. That only may be done of you. So they can only eat, and that's it. Then he continues, and you shall observe the feast of the unleavened bread, for in the selfsame day have I brought you armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall you observe this day in all your generations by an ordinance forever. In the first month on the 14th day, and the month at evening, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 21 day of the month at even. 7 days there shall be no leaven in the congregation. For whosoever 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your house. For whoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. So this involved everybody, not just the Israelites. Ye shall eat nothing leavened. In all your habitations ye shall eat unleavened bread. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said to them, Draw out and take a lamb according to your families, and unalive the Passover. Well, what they don't tell you is that word for Passover is pishul, and the literary meaning, like the literal meaning of it, is a lame, crippled person. And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood in the basin, and strike it the lintel on the two sides of the post, and the blood that's in the basin, and none of you shall go out of the door of this house until morning. For the Lord will pass through to smite the Egyptians. And when you see the blood upon the lintel and on the two sides, the Lord will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come in to your houses to smite you. So this is like a trade over. It's like the Paschal lamb is actually a human being sacrificed to keep them from all dying. It's crazy. And ye shall sacrifice this thing for an ordinance to thee and thy sons forever. And it shall come to pass, when you come into the land which the Lord hath given you, according as he has promised, that you shall keep this service. So this goes on for forever. And it shall come to pass, when your children shall say to you, What mean ye of this service? And they shall say, It is a sacrifice to the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses. And the people bowed their heads and worshipped. And the children of Israel went away, and they did as the Lord had commanded Aaron. So they did. Now, people are going to think I'm crazy when I'm saying that this was humans, but I'm going to show you how I know that. Okay, and also I just wanted to note that the destroyer that passes over actually in Hebrew is a demon as a noun. So I've added that slide so you could see that. This is from Millen Hebrew Dictionary. It's like one of the top-notch dictionaries. Okay, also here, when we look at Strong's, the word for Pishkal or Passover is 6453, and it means permission or an exemption only technically of the Jewish Passover, specifically the victim or the offering. So it's actually an offering. Here's the two words that they use. And the way they divide this stuff is like in the 7th and 9th centuries AD, which is like the second half of the first millennium, they added these niku, these little dot points, and they changed the whole Masoretic text. These words before that time had nothing. They were just plain, with none of these marks around them. They were the same identical word. So when it literally meant a lame, crippled person, that's what the original text said. It make you sick when you think about it. They called those niku vowel points. They said it was like the way they would delineate how the word sounded and what it meant. So they went back in and changed the text is what they did, because they were not present until like 700. Somebody said it was like 700 or 800 AD when those were added. they mixed everything up by using those. I think that's why Jeremiah wrote that, the lion pen of the scribes has made the law. Yeah, it's really sad. But here we have the two words, and they broke it up into H6453 to mean the Passover festival, and it also mean the victim, though. So they're telling you right there, even in their own Strong's books they wrote. But when you look down here, it's a lame person. And when I looked at Morphick's dictionary, which is like it's one of the big Hebrew dictionaries, literally crippled, lame person. From a festival to a crippled person. Yeah. And since it was something they ate, and they ate it with bitterness, because the word herbs is not in there. It's like, to me, that tells me, yeah, it was a bitter thing, because they took one from each family, Each family had to have this is why when they say, well, there's no human sacrifice in the Old Testament, they're not telling the truth. And this, you can go to Judges 11, and you'll see Japhet sacrifices his own daughter to win a war with somebody so he can further advance himself. But yet they're still saying that this can't be. I was pretty much in shock when I started studying Hebrew and started looking at this. I wanted to actually see the words are exactly the same, that I'm not making this up, and that you can go look at the Masoretic text and the Neku, and it'll tell you when they were done online. That's not hidden. I mean, this is an actual thing that they did. Here, I've show it here this is Bible Hub. But this is what I got when I did a mechanical, what I call mechanical is a literal translation, where I take the literal words and translate it from the Hebrew to the actual English. And it's kind of broken up, and he called Moses and the elders of Israel, and he said to them, pull and take of your multitude, is what that word actually meant, from your families, and slaughter the crippled, lame person. That's what if you put it in literal terms. Right here, if you look right there, it's like there's the word right there. This N means the, it's a prefix. The Pishkal is what that says. The crippled, lame person. It's so sad. It's sad that we have all not been told the truth. This makes sense when you look at what Yahweh says in the rest of it, because he's like, he doesn't want any of the crippled or lame people to come up to his altar in his Holy of Holies, to come near him. So this way he's getting rid of them every year, making the families get rid of them. But I just want to sit down and cry when I see these Protestant people on here in the mornings reading this. They were reading Numbers 8 and all this stuff, and I was sitting there going, oh, if they only knew. And then I tried to tell them in chat, and immediately I'm muted. They don't want to know the truth. Oh. It's like when Jesus told us, said, no greater love than man have, and he laid down his life for his friend. He laid his life down for us, and he picked it back up so that we could get out of here. He paid what Yahweh wanted, which is everything he does, he wants a blood sacrifice. And there's no way around that. It'll make you sick once you realize this, when they start singing that washed in the blood and all. This was interesting to me too, because this word right here, take, that says one of the multitude, that word right there sounds like son in Hebrew. And when I took and just out for, y'all know how I am about languages and how I study so many that I flip them back and forth to see what they would mean if you put it in a different language. And guess what it come up to? It comes, in Greek, it comes to be the word John. But that's pronounced son, because the T is silent. That TZ is kind of like an S sound. Now here we go, Matthew 26:2. You know that after 2 days is the Passover, and it doesn't even say feast of in the Greek. And the Son of Man is betrayed to be unalive. But it's staros, and it's like, to be unalived.
Right.
with stakes or knives. But it's the same word they use. It's just spelled out in Greek, but it's the same word they use in the Old Testament for the same thing. It's crazy. But that's how they came about this human sacrifice. The Also, when I looked at the Greek, this word for land is a probaton. Okay, when I looked up a probaton, it means anything that walks forward. I thought that was interesting. And in Greek, in the Brenton Septuagint, it reads, "And Moses called all the elders of the children of Israel and said to them, Go away and take to yourselves a probaton according to your kindreds and slay lame or crippled one," would be what that would be. And see, he said that he was only came for the destroyed probata of the house of Israel. In other words, he was trying to stop this sacrificial system. And he calls us when he's talking about us as my sheep hear my voice and stuff like that. It's the same word as probata. And this is interesting. In number 7, when I was looking at the sacrificial stuff, it says 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering. Well, 1 kid is 1 satyr. It's a he goat. It's actually a half human, half goat person. But the actual number 716 is actually a satyr. It says 1 satyr of the he goats for a sin offering. So they were actually doing the creatures here, and people don't realize how much that is in the Old Testament. It's like there's a whole lot more in there than what people realize. On the satyr stuff, it's like it's all throughout the Old Testament. And here's
Nathan saw some on the buildings.
Yeah, in England.
Yeah,
Tell them
over
about
in
that.
London.
Yeah, tell them about
Yeah,
that.
which
That
yeah,
was Westminster
that was
Cathedral, wasn't it?
Abbey. That's
Yeah.
right near Big Ben, and that was the first thing I noticed was looking at all the saints up there, and I was like, "What in the world?" I was like, "That." Well, and on the front side of it, though, the horns have been broke off their heads, but on the side of the building, the horns you could see they were still there. So weird. And when you would go inside, just some of the imagery and stuff that's in there is just so. It don't seem very inviting. It don't make me feel like Father's in there. It's not nothing like that at all. I mean, the acoustics and all that is amazing, but just the scary imagery everywhere in there is really weirds you out.
I couldn't believe that those figures, because when I studied art, I never noticed that. I'm like, wow, they actually do have horns. Like,
I mean, yeah, and how long have those been there? How old is that cathedral?
oh, I know. But when they mention the he goats in the Old Testament, that's actually a satyrs. That's where those words are located at. That's what I was showing here too. And it even says a he goat as a sacrificial animal. This is from Brown Driver Briggs. And that's a very known, reputable lexicon, for Hebrew. This was the verses that she was reading this morning. Numbers 8:14 through 20. Thus shalt thou separate the Levites from among the children of Israel, and the Levites shall be mine. So he's saying right there that the Levites belong to him. And after that shall the Levites go and do the service at the tabernacle of the congregation. And thou shalt cleanse them and offer them as an offering. I mean, it literally is saying offer them as an offering. For they are wholly given to me from among the children of Israel, instead of such as open every wound. So they're a replacement, he's saying in verse 16, for the children of Israel. They served him. They were serving in the temple, but they literally were becoming the offering. For they are wholly given to me among the children of Israel, instead of such as opens the womb, even instead of the firstborn of all the children of Israel, for I have taken them unto me. For all the firstborn of the children of Israel are mine, both man and beast. On the day that I smote every firstborn in the land of Egypt, I sanctified them for myself. So he took them for himself that day when he took them out of Egypt. And I have taken the Levites for all the firstborn children of Israel. And I never caught that when I was reading it before, but he's literally exchanging so that I guess the Israelites don't end up unalived. And I've given the Levites as a gift to Aaron and to his sons from among the children to do service of the children of Israel in the tabernacle and congregation, and to make atonement for the children of Israel. So he's saying they're both. They're going to be servants, and they're going to be the atonement for them. And there'll be no plague among the children of Israel when the children of Israel come nigh unto the sanctuary, because they'll have the perpetual thing with the firstborns of the Levites instead of the Israel. Moses there and all the congregation of children of Israel did as the Levites did to the Levites according unto all the Lord had commanded Moses concerning the Levites. So did the children of Israel unto them. So that's kind of like the Japheth story. He said that he did exactly as he was told. It's the same kind of thing. And it took me a little bit to catch this, to really look at the wording and go, oh wow, he's exchanging them. It's not like they're just become priests, they're being in exchange for the others. I hope it's making sense. When I looked that up as an offering, that meant a sacrificial offering. I hope